Good afternoon and welcome into the Watson and Tressel training site here for Senior Day here at Youngstown State. The Penguins taking on the Detroit Mercy Titans in the home regular season finale. Anthony Romo joined by a somewhat new guest, Taryn Fredema. Taryn, we did some softball. Now we got you on lacrosse. What are your thoughts about your first lacrosse broadcast today?
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an incredible matchup. Weather outside isn't really cooperating with us, so luckily we're having a nice enough facility here at the Watson Tressel training site to host it indoors. And as we mentioned a little bit before we got on air, Detroit Mercy's definitely coming in with a determined poise, trying to take down this Penguins team who's looking to get a spot in the Mid-American Conference tournament.
Yeah, these two teams here today are neck and neck for that fourth and final Mid-American Conference tournament spot. If you're new to the MAC, the top 4 teams qualify for the postseason tournament. There's 2 games left for Youngstown State and 2 left for Detroit Mercy. This is a big one here today for Youngstown State. They are 3-3 in MAC play. Detroit Mercy is 2-3. If YSU wins today, they clinch a spot in the MAC tournament. And then if they lose, I mean, a lot has to happen for Detroit Mercy to make the tournament. Detroit Mercy actually has 1 extra game than YSU has, I do believe. They play 2 games next week when YSU only plays 1. Yep, Detroit Mercy hosts Kent State on Wednesday, and they play at Eastern Michigan next Saturday. So they have 2 games left after this. YSU only has 1. The Penguins will play Kent State on Wednesday. YSU 5-10 overall coming into today. Detroit Mercy is 3-8. This is a big one here today in the Watts. Youngstown State last season, they were pretty much lights out here in the Watts, going 4-0. Then this season, YSU started the year off with a win in this building against Butler, 19-18, way back on February 12th. And then YSU lost the next 3 games against some very tough competition before coming back indoors to beat Gardner-Webb here at the Watson and Tressel training site, 21-18. So we haven't been in this building in over a month. We'll see if Youngstown State can defend the home turf here indoors. And Taryn, we talk about Detroit Mercy. You were talking about their poise. They're trying to come in and keep their tournament hopes alive as we're just about ready to begin play here. What do you think Detroit Mercy has to do early on to kind of calm the nerves here on the road?
I think you need to play aggressive, especially coming into this, knowing that Youngstown State is right on that line of making the tournament. If you play aggressive, there's a very good chance that you can end the season hopes and really make it tough for the Penguins to get into the postseason.
It was Bodnar and Yesko on the opening draw, and we are underway. Penguins get first possession. Allie Corrin with it for YSU. She's driving in. She'll shoot, and she'll score. Allie Corrin on her senior day takes just 19 seconds to put the Penguins on the board, and we are officially in milestone watch. That is her 99th career collegiate goal. We'll take another look right here. Corrin taking the ball, going down the left side of the field. She wasted no time putting the Penguins on the board.
We did mention how Detroit Mercy needed to be aggressive, but it looks like the Penguins came out firing, really getting to that back line. And fantastic start. Could not ask for a better beginning to this game if you are Youngstown State.
So just 18 seconds into the first quarter here today, and YSU will be playing from in front. Abby Yesko for YSU, Leah Bodnar for Detroit Mercy back at midfield for another draw. I think that's going to be big for Detroit Mercy to try to get possessions early on here on the road, but they are 0 for 2 thus far. First 2 draws controlled by the Penguins. And here comes YSU once again. Corrin, she's going to drive right around the defender, and she'll settle down behind the net. We'll meet today's starters shortly after this possession. Corrin passes it over to Chang. Youngstown State still a lot of time on the shot clock. We'll see if they decide to slow it down a little bit here on this possession and try to set up an offensive set.
I think getting off to that early, getting the ball in the back of the net real early now, it kind of creates a sense of urgency if you're Detroit Mercy, because now Youngstown State has that ability, if they want to slow it down and kind of play a little bit more of the mind games with Detroit Mercy, they have that in their back pocket.
Allie Garrett loses her footing. We're going to have a foul called on Detroit Mercy. Possession will stay with Youngstown State. That foul was called on number 9, Jess Turner. So here's a free position opportunity for Allie Garrett very early on here today. Garrett drives inside, she'll shoot. Goes off the crossbar, sitting in front. And I believe they're gonna call it a goal. So we're gonna have a foul on Detroit Mercy.
Looked like she took maybe
She took a hit.
A shot to the stomach, it looked like. If we take another look here, yeah, just a really tough collision right there in front of the goal.
They're going to call it a goal, though. So that'll make it 2-0 Penguins. Early on, Garrett able to get up and kind of walk it off, but she might be getting helped over to the sideline.
Talk about putting your body on the line.
She's holding her arm.
This is not a sport that you come away with a whole lot of pristine damage. It's you come in and you expect to get hurt.
Oh yeah, we've seen our fair share of collisions here in the Watts this year and outdoors at Farmers National Bank Field. This is a very physical sport, to say the least, but Garrett does get her first goal today, her 18th here on her freshman campaign, and YSU takes a quick 2-0 lead. Detroit Mercy now will control their first draw of the day. They'll have their first offensive possession. We'll see what they can do with it.
Detroit Mercy now really has to, they have to understand that they're down 2 very early in this, and obviously it's way too early to really make any speculation as to what this is doing to this Detroit Mercy team, but they seem to stay poised, and they are staying confident in what their abilities are.
Titans working with it with the ball behind the net, trying to move into an offensive set. We see some players trying to cut in, but YSU's defense is doing a good job protecting right in front of the crease. And here come the Titans now. Pass across to the other side of the goal. Loose ball, who will come up with it, and it'll be Youngstown State. It's a nice job by the Penguins, and number 19, Kayla Stecker, forcing the turnover for YSU.
Very well done there, very great defensive play. That one goes right into the home fans of the Penguins here.
Good turnout today.
Very good turnout today, as I think a lot of the fans are happy that we're not outside sitting in the rain and the cold, so
that's for sure.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day here inside the Watts.
YSU with their third possession now so far today. Their first 2 possessions ended in goals, one by Allie Korn, who has it currently, and one by Allie Garrett. Here comes Korn trying to drive down the middle. She'll pass it away. Good look inside the shot, and another goal for Youngstown State.
Gotta commend the ball movement here. They are just absolutely slinging it around the field. As we take another look here, a nice pass inside and just perfectly placed shot into the back of the net for the Penguins, giving them a 3-0 lead less than 3 minutes into this game.
Jade Shear with the goal right there. She's been playing really well at home as of late. Shear, that's her 6th goal of her freshman season. Last Saturday against Akron, Shear had a career-high 3 goals in that game. Came into the day with 2 career goals across the whole season. She added 3 herself. One game last Saturday, that was part of a big 18-5 victory for Youngstown State last Saturday against the Zips. Detroit controls the draw. This is the first and only meeting this season between these 2 teams. The last 2 times these 2 teams played last season, they both were thrillers. Jordan Miller coming down with it for Youngstown State. She's trying to get herself towards the middle. She'll pass it off to Allie Korn. Under 12 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We're still just underway here from the Watts. YSU here on Senior Day, playing with a little extra added edge.
They definitely know what they are playing for, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Right there on the edge of making this postseason.
And another goal right there for the Penguins. Taylor Bumstead cuts Taryn off with another goal for YSU. Taryn, might need you on these calls more. We just score and score and score when you're here on the call.
That is one thing that Youngstown State has done really well, is every possession they have had, they have been able to capitalize. It seems right now is a night and day difference between just how well they can take care of the ball. Detroit Mercy seems to not be able to keep a possession really even halfway through their shot clock, but Youngstown State is pushing the pace and really making Detroit Mercy work for it.
This is a YSU team that usually struggles coming out of the gates. I mean, at least for the most part this season, across the board, YSU has scored 49 first quarter goals this season, but has given up 65. They're usually the team that is down by this number early on in the game. We saw that a lot earlier this season in the Watts. The first game was a 19-18 win over Butler, but then after that you have 18-11 loss to Marquette, 14-11 loss to Cincinnati, and a 16-13 loss to Duquesne. In all those games, YSU trailed for the most part of those ball games. But it's kind of the script being flipped here today.
And I know you and I had mentioned in a couple other broadcasts that we did earlier this year, especially with softball, that it's all about getting hot at the right time. And if this is an indication of what Youngstown State wants to do, they are getting hot at just the right time, right when they need to.
Corin will shoot, and she'll score. Goal number 100 in the career of Allie Corin, and that'll make it 5-0 Youngstown State. 5 goals in just over 4 minutes for the Penguins, and they continue their red-hot start here in the first quarter.
I don't think you could ask for a better senior day present than to hit a milestone of 100 career goals. Absolutely incredible early on performance here from Corin.
And Corin will keep the ball, and we're going to have a timeout called by Detroit Mercy. Youngstown State's team will go out on the field to congratulate Corin. I mean, what a start it has been today for YSU. The Penguins have had 5 shots and 5 goals.
I would take those numbers any day of the week in anything that I was doing. One thing that they have been able to do, though, is not just offensively, but defensively. Detroit Mercy has struggled to even get on their side of the field at this point of the game, and having this confidence now that your senior is coming out and putting up these sorts of numbers, already 2 goals on the board for Corin. I think this is exactly what Youngstown State wanted, and maybe even more.
As you take a look at Detroit Mercy head coach Dwayne Hicks, trying to get his team kind of back into this, trying to put these early 5 goals behind them. As we take another look here at goal number 100 in the career. Actually, that was goal number 99. We have a goal from Allie Garrett. Hopefully she's doing okay. We still haven't seen her back in the game since. It has been all YSU early on. Jade Cheer getting in on the scoring barrage. That was the 3rd goal of the first quarter for YSU. We see Bumstead right here with the 4th, and then Allie Corin coming up right here. Goal number 100 in her career for Youngstown State. Timeout is complete. Both teams back out on the field. Now I think is a great time to meet the starters for both squads here today. First for the visiting Detroit Mercy Titans. In goal for them today, starting is Meredith Lavelle. She's had a rough go of it early on. And then in the field for the Titans, number 2, Alyssa Jarvis. Number 9, Jess Turner. Number 12, Marina Butler. Number 19, Kat Kopcha. Number 23, Annie Gilbert. As the Titans win the draw, and they're kind of trying to push it up quickly here, coming out of the timeout. And then the rest of the starters, number 25, Charlotte Dale. Number 26, Sophie Davis. Number 27, Maddie Cam. Number 28, Kaya Nustin. Number 33, Leah Bodnar. Number 55, Katie Biello.
And as we just mentioned right before we went into that last timeout, one thing that the Titans have not been able to do is really penetrate their side of the field. And looks like here they're starting to gain a little bit of momentum, playing a little bit of a keep away compared to Youngstown State's aggressive approach to get into the back of the net.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of polar opposites. We've seen Youngstown State. I don't know if they've gotten down to 45 seconds in a shot clock so far here today, but Detroit Mercy, you can't get all 5 goals back in one try, but you got to really value these possessions. So it's a very smart thing to settle down, move into an offensive set. We're going to see the Titans try to get their first goal here today. A long distance shot goes right into the stick of Michaela Starenko. So another empty possession for Detroit Mercy, and YSU will take over.
Yeah, Michaela Starenko not really been challenged yet today, so getting that first save is obviously something that gets her confidence going a little bit, something that Detroit Mercy has really yet to do.
Heavy collision down on the left side. Down goes Corin. That was a collision with her and Katie Biello. And Biello will get a yellow card for that one. She'll have to head out. Corin will get up. We'll take another look right here.
Yeah, just heavy contact, as we mentioned. This is a very high contact sport, and sometimes, especially when you're down 5 early in a game like this, only 5.5 minutes in, those kind of emotions sometimes get out of you. Maybe that's just something you need to play a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end, but maybe a little bit more conservative on the offensive.
Corin will pass it off. Allie Garrett back into the game for Youngstown State. It's a good sign to see. Ball now on the stick of Erin Clark. A name we haven't said too much today, but she has kind of been the leader for this team. One of the team captains, she passed off to another captain, and Jordan Miller. She'll shoot and she'll score. Jordan Miller's first goal of the day, and the 6th goal now for the Penguins.
Just an unbelievable offensive performance as we take just another look here. Just such a nice shot from Miller right out here, just outside that second circle, and a fantastic shot. And man, I don't know if it's just the senior day that got to him or maybe just being inside, feeling nice and warm and fresh, but something has gotten into this Penguins team. And from right here, they look like they are in postseason form here in late April.
Back at the field, back at midfield for another draw, Bodnar and Yesko. Let's meet the starters now for Youngstown State. We mentioned the starter in goal today, Michaela Starenko, and then in the field, number 1, Tristan Chang, number 2, Skylar Weber, number 3, Eris Lindsay, number 5, Abby Yesko, we just mentioned, number 10, Aaron Clark, number 11, Jordan Miller, number 16, Jocelyn Fike, number 17, Alexa Byer, number 19, Kayla Stecker, number 25, Molly Sheridan, and number 27, Allie Corin. It's the 5th meeting all time between these two schools here today. We mentioned last season both games came down to the wire. Both went to sudden death overtime, with Youngstown State coming out on top in both games. But Detroit Mercy is going to have to go on a pretty big run here and really switch the momentum of this game if they want to try to get it back towards a tie game.
And it's still very early in this game, but with the amount of pressure that these Penguins have been able to put on these Titans, it looks like it's already having the opportunity to possibly get away from the Titans, but let's see if they can really turn it around.
Yeah, this will be the best opportunity Detroit Mercy has had so far today. It'll be Leah Bodnar. I do believe with a chance here. Nope. We're going to have a shot, though, and a goal. So regardless, a goal for the Titans. Annie Gilbert will find the back of the net for her 18th goal this season. She's coming off a really good game against Central Michigan last time out. As we take another look, Gilbert putting it right off the shoe of Michaela Starenko and into the goal for Detroit Mercy's first goal of the day. Annie Gilbert had 3 goals and an assist. She had 4 total points last time out against Central Michigan, and she's someone that the Titans are really going to need to step up if they want to come back and win this game today.
Well, that's a great start. And again, I guess they just shut me up again. Already putting a goal on the board. Just getting anything you can get if you're Detroit Mercy here, anything that is given to you. But I will say that is a rare mistake that we've seen today for this Penguins team.
Back underway, draw control goes to Youngstown State. Tristan Chang flying down the right side. She'll shoot. That one's partially saved, and that is the first shot of the day for Youngstown State that has not found the back of the net. But the Penguins will retain possession. Back to Chang. She might try again. We're going to have a whistle blown. We're going to have a free position opportunity now for Chang here with just under 8 minutes to go in our first quarter.
And as we mentioned, it just seems like the pace of play for Youngstown State is night and day different from the Titans. Seeming aggressive right off those draw. Second shot to not go in.
Nice job there again by Lavelle of keeping that ball out of the net. We'll see if she can start to settle in now. YSU with another chance here. Third opportunity here in this possession. Penguins passing around the perimeter over to Abby Yesko here on the right side. She'll pass it over to Allie Corin. Corin already 2 goals today in the first quarter. She's going to try to go around the defender. She's cut off. She'll have to pass it off. Nice defense by Detroit Mercy. And they'll force the turnover. So that is the first empty possession today for Youngstown State. You got to give credit to Detroit Mercy for kind of standing strong down towards their goal. And they'll be heading with it the other way.
Yeah, whatever was talked about in that timeout for the Titans has definitely been put into effect, as it seems like a new team playing a much better defensive and a much more relaxed game for the Titans.
Marina Butler was unable to field the ground ball, so possession will go back to Youngstown State. The Titans, we saw in their goal a little bit ago, it's kind of a methodical approach on the possession, got a goal on the free position. That last one, they tried to quickly move it up the field. They ended up turning it over. Nice little backdoor cut by Allie Corin. She's driving inside towards the middle. Her shot's high. They're going to have another chance for YSU.
That initially looked really good. But as you mentioned, just a little high. And again, it seems that defensively the Titans have come out with a new desire out of that timeout. They look a lot more confident in their ability.
Erin Clark driving in. She'll pass it off to Corin. We're going to have another whistle blown. And we're going to set up another free position here for Youngstown State. Just over 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Oh, we're under 6 minutes. Corin will be set up from the right side of the goal. She's looking for a hat trick here in the first quarter. Allie Corin drives in. She'll shoot and she'll score. Too easy for the senior out of Mahopac, New York. Allie Corin, that's the 7th goal here for Youngstown State.
7 goals very early. Corin, I guess it is just your day to shine when you are the lone senior on this team. The eyes are on you and you live up to the pressure. She's having herself a fantastic game. As you mentioned, 3 goals early in this first for the Penguins.
Definitely, that'll push it back out to a 6-goal lead for Youngstown State. 7-1 now, Penguins. And they have been on a tear early on as a team. Allie Corin currently leading the team with 3 goals, and then YSU has added a goal from Jade Shear, Allie Garrett, Taylor Bumstead, and Jordan Miller. Detroit Mercy's lone goal early on belongs to Annie Gilbert. She put an end to the 6-0 YSU streak to begin the game, but the Penguins got to go back, and they controlled the draw. We're going to have a foul called on the Titans. Possession will stay with YSU. We'll take another look right here. Just a collision between Erin Clark and Marina Butler. Wasn't intentional, just kind of ran into each other. Clark tried to slow her momentum, and Butler was not slowing down. So another possession here for the Penguins.
See, here again, we see Youngstown playing that aggressive approach, doing a really good job with ball movement, especially behind the net.
Corin getting pushed off the ball. She'll pass it off now to Tristan Chang. Chang will drive in. She's getting good positioning. She'll shoot. Takes down the goalie in Lavelle, but I think she was fouled before that. We're going to have a stick check on Detroit Mercy, and this will set up a free position for Tristan Chang.
One thing that you can tell with the experience of Corin is that she really just knows how to read the defense. She knows exactly where to be, where to position the ball at all times to put her teammates in the best position.
Pass inside, looking for Shear. It'll bounce out to Jordan Miller. YSU will keep it. Nice look inside. Garrett will shoot. That's wide. YSU will get another chance. That was a really good find inside.
It was incredible find by Corin. Again, plenty of NCAA lacrosse experience in her day, and being on this YSU team, you can tell they are fast-paced, and this is really fitting in well with the vision of Corin for this game.
Garrett drives in, another collision. She goes down. She loses possession, and then we're going to have a foul called on Allie Garrett. That'll be a yellow card given to her. We'll take another look.
Seemed quite aggressive there. Good to see her back in the game, but not in the sense to get a yellow card not too long after coming back in after that early collision she took in the goal early in the first.
Approaching 4 minutes to go now here in the first quarter. Detroit Mercy with possession. They're going to look to try to cut into this deficit. Trailing 7-1. Passing it off was Cam. She moved the ball all the way deep into YSU territory. Now the Titans will pass it around the perimeter here, and they're going to try to set something up. Kopcha will get rid of it. It's a name we haven't said too much today, Kat Kopcha, who now has it once again. She leads the team with 19 goals this season. Detroit Mercy waiting for her to start to heat up. Nice find inside, but the shot was wide of the net. Detroit Mercy will get another chance, but that is one of the easiest looks they've had so far. Jarvis just could not capitalize.
I feel that we've talked a lot about the Detroit Mercy defense today, but it's mostly because YSU has really been on the offensive for a lot of this game, but we got to commend.
Good look inside, and another goal there for the Titans. Here with 3:12 to go in the first quarter. That'll get the deficit back down to 5 with the goal right there from Marina Butler.
And as you can see, just through their ball movement, it just seems that they are playing a very methodical offense. tiring out this Youngstown State defense. And as we keep mentioning, I almost like to think of it as if we switched it over to basketball, it's like the Detroit Mercy offense is almost playing like the Harlem Globetrotters, really passing the ball, doing a really good job of getting it around the perimeter and waiting for that opening, which luckily for Youngstown State, they have not really been able to give up. But on the other side, it seems like the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns, who like to just run and gun and do everything that they can to get the ball in the back of the net as quick as possible.
That was a nice job by Marina Butler splitting the YSU double team of Fike and Stecker. Detroit Mercy will control another draw. We're going to have a foul called on the Penguins. It'll keep it here with Detroit Mercy. Approaching 3 minutes to go now here in the first quarter. 7-2 YSU. The Penguins jumped out to a quick 6-0 lead, scoring 6 goals in the first 7 minutes. They've since cooled down just a tad, and Detroit Mercy's trying to settle into this game. Try to make a game of it, trailing 7-2.
The slower this game runs, the more in favor of Detroit Mercy it will go. As we mentioned, this Youngstown State team likes to play the aggressive approach, but even on the defensive end, they are scrappy. They're not afraid to get physical down low, and it's really an interesting contrast of styles, to say the least.
The Titans working around the outside with it is Cam. Shoots it past the stick of Eris Lindsay, but it goes above the net, and it'll stay with the Titans.
Just a little high on that one, which, again, if you're Detroit Mercy, it's okay as long as you can keep the possession on your side and keep it away from this fast-moving offense of Youngstown State. But right here, pushing it out to the perimeter, if I'm Detroit Mercy, that's not something that I really am afraid of doing.
3 seconds remain on the shot clock. They're going to have to put a shot up, and they cannot. That'll be a turnover. Here come the Penguins the other way. Great defensive possession for YSU. Molly Sheridan now has it across midfield. She's flying right down the middle. Sheridan will pass it off to Clark, now over to Miller inside. Nice ball movement, and it'll end with a Youngstown State goal.
Right back to where they started on a red-hot, aggressive approach. Sheridan really did a great job of getting down the field. Nice inside pass there. Capitalizing with another point on the board for the Penguins.
And just that quick, this offense can make you pay.
When a team's this hot and this quick, you're Detroit Mercy. This is not necessarily how you expect to start a game like this. But again, you know that in the back of this Youngstown State mind, honestly, probably in the front of their mind, they know what is on the line if they win this game.
Definitely.
They booked their ticket to the postseason.
YSU last year was one of the 4 teams in the MAC tournament. They were one of 3 teams that won a share of the regular season title in the MAC. YSU, Central Michigan, and Robert Morris all went 8-2 in conference play. YSU did eventually lose in the first round, or I guess the semifinals you could call it, to Robert Morris. But I mean, there's no real team in the MAC this year that kind of stands alone above the rest, I would say. YSU played Central Michigan very tough their last time out on Wednesday. I mean, it was a tough loss for YSU, but they still played them tough.
I mean, that
Penguins with possession again.
That's got to just show you how competitive and how overall balanced this conference is, though. Top to bottom, it seems like anybody, any given season, could really make a push to win.
YSU lost 15-8 to Central Michigan on Wednesday. Detroit Mercy lost 20-8 in their last game. That one's partially saved. And possession will go to Detroit Mercy.
It's interesting being in this first period here and really thinking that it's almost been a tale of 2 halves of this first period. You know, that first half, it was Youngstown State who was really pushing the pace, tiring out the legs of Detroit Mercy. But although the score may not dictate it, if you really take away those first 6 or 7 minutes, this game's tied up in a much more even battle.
2 Titans collide trying to go for the net. That was number 15. Or excuse me, number 19, Katja, that collided with her teammate. Now she'll have a free position opportunity. This is a chance for Detroit Mercy right before the end of the first quarter with just 3 seconds remaining to add another goal. Kopcha drives in. She'll shoot. That one's wide. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Very quick start for Youngstown State, gave him an edge. The Penguins lead 8-2 as we head towards the second quarter. We'll be right back with more action after this. Welcome back. Start of the second quarter here from the Watts. Youngstown State on top of Detroit Mercy 8-2 after 15 minutes of play so far here today. Anthony Romo, Taryn Ferdima back on the call. Well, Taryn, Youngstown State jumped out red hot here on senior day, scored 6 goals in the span of the first 7 minutes here today. That has really helped them keep an edge like this through those first 15 minutes. We talk about starting off hot, and the Penguins did just that.
They really did. Starting off 6-0 very early. And then it seemed the game to really seem to slow down more in favor of the Titans. But I will say it seems like whatever Detroit Mercy is able to do, Youngstown State's always able to come back and keep that lead at 6.
Jordan Miller driving in. She gets fouled on the drive. She'll have a free position attempt. Jordan Miller, 1 goal so far here today. There's been goals by committee so far here today. Allie Corrin has 3. Jordan Miller actually has 2 goals today. My apologies on that. She's looking for a hat trick right here. Just underway here in the second quarter. Miller will drive in. She'll shoot. That one's wide. Corrin currently leading the way with 3 goals. Like we said, Miller has 2. And then Taylor Bumstead, Allie Garrett, and Jade Shear each with 1 goal so far today for Youngstown State.
One thing that we saw early in this game and we're continuing to see is I think the team that really can control the turnover battle is going to be the one that comes away from this. But just like that in almost any sport, it's rare that you see the team that is a little bit more careless when it comes to their possessions coming out with the victory. But it's definitely been a tale of this game.
Pass over the top, over to Corrin. She'll pass it back. Detroit Mercy standing tall here in this possession. Just 20 seconds remain on the shot clock. Can YSU end it with a goal? Chang, nice stutter step. She'll drive in. She'll shoot. That's partially saved. She'll get it back. The shot clock will be pushed back up to 60 for the Penguins.
One thing that we have seen is Youngstown State has been very accurate with a lot of their shot attempts. The 12-2 shots on goal comparison for the Penguins and Titans respectively.
Garrett collided with from behind. She hits the turf. Gonna have a foul called on Detroit Mercy. Allie Garrett's been getting banged up so far here today. Scored the second goal of the first quarter for YSU. She collided with 3 Titans on the play, was slow to get up. She's looking for her second goal right here, working straight away from the net. Garrett will drive in, she'll shoot, and she'll score. Allie Garrett, second goal here today, 19th on the season. She's been playing really well as of late. She had a hat trick last Saturday against Akron. She added another goal against Central Michigan on Wednesday. She adds her second right there to make it 9-2.
Such a
YSU.
Such a tough shot to get it in that lower corner. Not an easy position, especially when you're coming in with that big crowd. And really, speaking of crowd, as we mentioned, pretty good turnout today. Must just be wanting to stay out of the rain, the cold here in Youngstown, Ohio. But beautiful day for a very important contest for the Penguins especially. But Detroit Mercy really needs to figure out that next gear in order to get themselves back into this game and try to stay competitive.
Yeah, we mentioned how today is senior day for Youngstown State. Allie Corrin, try to combine Garrett and Corrin. Allie Corrin, the lone senior today, being recognized for Youngstown State, came in today with 98 goals. She scored 2 goals to make it 100 on her career about 3 to 4 minutes into the first quarter, and she's added another goal since. So she's already up to a hat trick today.
It's incredible coming in here with 98 career goals, and we are just 2.5 minutes-ish into this second period, and you're already over 100 and already pushing that 101. I think before you know it, we might reach 110 for Corrin, and that'll be a brand new milestone to reach.
Yeah, she has really stepped up into that lead scoring role, lead attacking role, I should say, ever since the YSU lost Natalie Kalandra-Ryan a few weeks ago, the first week of April. The Penguins are on the attack once again. Pass over to Miller. She'll get past the defender. She'll shoot off the crossbar from point blank. And Detroit Mercy will come down with it. Tough break there for YSU.
Really nice job just getting into close to the net there and just not able. Ball releasing just a little too early. But it seems like here, just right here, it looks like Detroit Mercy's almost taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach than they did in that first period, which I thought it was nice when they slowed it down because it was able to give them a little bit more of an advantage over the Penguins. But it looks like they're maybe taking a page out of the winning team's book here.
Aaron Clark with it for YSU. She's looking for Yesko inside. And Abby Yesko still on the turf. We'll see who the referee will give possession to. We'll give it to Detroit Mercy. As I was saying, though, Allie Corrin has really stepped up since YSU lost Natalie Kalandra-Ryan. Corrin has been on a tear as of late. Last Saturday, tied a season high with 5 goals against Akron. And then she had 4 goals against Central Michigan. On Wednesday, Corrin was the only YSU player with more than 1 goal, as she had those 4.
Yeah, I know when this team lost Natalie Kalandra-Ryan, it was a big question mark because as she leads a lot of statistical categories for the MAC or very high up, as Youngstown State puts another one in the back of the net.
Jordan Miller with another goal for YSU. That's her 3rd. She's up to a hat trick, and that is the 10th goal here for YSU.
Jordan Miller really is just an X factor for this team. I mean, her bigger size, 6'1", coming into this game, and you can just see when she's out there, she just towers over everybody on the field and definitely gives you a little bit of an advantage. And not only is she tall, but she's incredibly athletic and incredibly fast, has great footwork down low, and it shows there. She's just able to put one right in the back of the net for the Penguins.
When we talk about wanting to play well at the right time, if this YSU team can play like this in the conference tournament, anything is possible. I mean, they have a big game coming up after this one as well when they go to Kent State to end the regular season. That's a big one for YSU. Kent State, when those two teams played last year at Kent, it was an all-time classic. That one will be next Saturday at 1 p.m. at Kent. YSU won 21-20 with a Natalie Calandra-Ryan goal as time expired to complete the comeback, and Calandra-Ryan set, or at least tied, the Mid-American Conference record with 8 goals in that game.
I will say, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, the MAC is an incredibly competitive conference, and you never really know what these games or how these games are going to turn out, because we've seen, if we just look right here, you never know what's really going to happen. As we put another one in the back of the net for the Penguins.
Freshman Jade Shear with her 2nd goal today. That'll make it 11-2 Youngstown State.
Wow.
Nice job by Shear. You saw she got it inside, and she didn't rush the shot. Faked a shot and put it under the goalie's stick in Lavelle. Another goal for YSU. They are up to 11 goals here, and we're not even 20 full minutes into today's game.
You can tell she's just very composed down low, especially for a freshman. That's something that is a lot harder to do, just in any sport really. Is as a freshman, you come into these bigger situations with, a postseason berth is on the line here if you win this game for Youngstown State, and the way she stayed composed and had a very good shot placement in the back of the net there, giving them now a
11-2 lead.
11-2 lead.
Approaching 10 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Detroit Mercy, they were able to tame the Penguins for a little bit there towards the end of the 1st quarter, but 2nd quarter starts up, and the YSU scoring barrage is back. Marina Butler passes it off. The Titans passing it around the perimeter. Detroit Mercy, though, this has been a successful season in a way when you look at how the past years have went. They're 3-8 currently this season, but they have already eclipsed their win totals from the last 2 seasons. Last year, Detroit Mercy went 2-8, and then in 2021 they went 2-8. 2022, they went 2-12. So this is a program that's still growing under head coach Dwayne Hicks. Coach Hicks, one of the most renowned coaches in the Midwest. He's a multiple-time National Coach of the Year winner, once with Oakland with their women's lacrosse program and once with the men's program at Michigan State. So this is a Detroit Mercy team that has a good head coach, a good reputable head coach. Just got to believe in the philosophy.
And we saw early in that 1st period when they took that timeout.
Another goal for the Penguins, Allie Corin. Now with her 4th goal of the 1st half, and that makes it 12-2 YSU.
I'm telling you, 110 doesn't seem out of the picture right now. Allie Corin she's doing everything right. It seems like every time that it leaves her possession, it's in the back of the net. It is an unbelievable, and not only has she done great on the offensive herself in scoring, she has set up her teammates absolutely perfectly. We mentioned that a lot in that 1st period. The way she plays behind the net is unlike a lot of people in the MAC and even in the country. She's just very good at facilitating and making sure that the ball is placed right at the right spot at the right time, which gives them now a double-digit lead, 10-point lead over the Titans.
Yeah, we mentioned this is the 5th meeting all-time between these two schools. YSU leads the all-time series 3-1. We talked about both games last season. Went to overtime. YSU won 12-11 right here in the Watts last season, and then YSU won 10-9 in overtime on April 16th at Detroit Mercy. That was part of a late season avalanche of momentum for Youngstown State. The Penguins won their last 5 games of the regular season, which pushed them into a tie for the Mid-American Conference regular season title. We were kind of talking about that last weekend, me and Jake Silac, how, hey man, if you can get hot at the right time again like you did last season, anything's possible for this team.
And that's really the competitive nature just of not only lacrosse, but every sport, as Detroit Mercy finally able to put another point of their own on the board. I guess just dampening the blow that this Youngstown State team has put on them.
That goal goes to Charlotte Dale. That's her 9th of the season. I'm not doing it on purpose, Taryn. I keep setting you up right when these teams are scoring.
You know what?
Not doing it on purpose.
That's okay. That's okay. That makes our
Can't
job.
let you get a full statement out.
Makes our job easy. But right there again, trying to dampen the blow. That's all you can do at this point before you can really build a little bit of momentum. What's incredible is you can tell that those kinds of shots are not affecting this team, as we just saw there. Taylor Bumstead just had a little bit of a smile on her face, a little bit of a grin. Yeah. But I mean, I guess when you're still up 9 early about midway through that second period, you're feeling pretty good about your chances to move on and get into this postseason tournament.
Bumstead and Vergara at midfield for the draw. It's controlled by Detroit Mercy. Nice job by Vergara moving in to that draw control spot at midfield, or the draw spot at midfield, and getting it. But a nice save by Steranko.
Incredible save by Steranko there, really just putting her body out there. Again,
ISU come down with it.
It really does just seem like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like these two teams really swapped philosophies at the period break there. It's been a much less aggressive Youngstown team, maybe just a little bit more of trying to protect the lead that they have. And looks like Detroit Mercy is playing that more aggressive approach to try to put some points of their own on the board.
That one's lost for a second, but possession is regained by Skylar Weber. His name we haven't said too much today. Skylar Weber, in her junior season with YSU, she was one of the original players in this program when it started up 3 seasons ago, back in that 2021 season. I mean, it was a really tough start. As Bumstead drives in, she'll shoot. That one's high. It was a tough start because you're starting up a program. 2020, there was no play, obviously, because of COVID. And 2021 comes, and the MAC schools only played a MAC-only schedule. So YSU couldn't really get too much experience. And then last season, we saw with a full schedule, full slate for the Penguins, they were able to go 10-8 and 8-2 in MAC play. YSU just 5-10 this season, but they really ramped up their non-conference schedule. So I guess you'll trade a couple wins for a couple losses, but if you can gain experience and play well at this time of the season, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and you can tell that those tougher non-conference games have prepared them well for these conference games.
Definitely.
Just the way that they have seemed very calm throughout this entire game, never really getting rattled, even, you know, through a couple of bumps and injuries, but they're staying poised in the net and when they're attacking the other side as well.
A foul called on the Penguins. That was called on number 8, Skylar Pigram. We'll take another look right here. Pigram trying to cut off Marina Butler. Oh, she broke her stick. I was wondering what that sound was. I thought someone collided, but she just lost, her stick broke.
I did too. That was...
You could hear it from up here. Something happened.
Yeah, that's not something you see all that often, and a lot of force. I mean, it tells you these ladies are playing with some heart today.
And a goal right there for the Titans. Marina Butler breaks a stick, and she scores a goal.
Guess I was actually able to get a statement out before that goal, which was great. But let's take another look here. Seems like they might just be finding a little bit of momentum, you know, peeking through the cracks that this Youngstown State team has left open. But really nice shot for the Titans there. And now, again, I don't want to call it too early, but it just starts to feel a little bit of a momentum shift as we see midway through this second period with only 5 minutes to go in the half.
Marina Butler, someone who for most of the season has been the facilitator of the offense. She's usually the one setting up the goals. She leads the team with 2 today. Butler had 9 goals on the season coming in today, but had a team lead with 13 assists. She's now up to 11 goals and 24 points on the season.
I fully expect here that this Detroit Mercy team is going to be a little bit more aggressive for these last 5 minutes with, you know, all you can really do is claw back at this point. Youngstown State, even after giving up another 2 goals in this period, you have to think that they've scored one of their own. They still have to be feeling pretty good about their chances going into the second half here.
YSU up 12-4. Lead has been as big as 10 goals. But Detroit Mercy has started to find some rhythm offensively as of late. They're trying to claw back into this one. With it is Jordan Miller. She has 3 goals today. Allie Corn leads the way for YSU with 4 goals. Miller has 3. Allie Garrett has 2. So does Jade Shear. Taylor Bumstead rounds it out with 1 goal. Bumstead currently with it. Under 40 seconds on the shot clock. Miller drives in, looking for a cutter. Can't find one. She'll pass it off to Garrett. Under 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Good possession defensively for Detroit Mercy. Chang trying to wrap around the side. She gets fouled. she'll have a free position chance, and Tristan Chang will have an opportunity for her first goal of the day.
It seemed here that there's a very little movement from Youngstown State here, so kind of forcing her to really make her own kind of play, kind of make her own thing happen, but Titans really swarmed in and made that shot a lot more contested than it probably should have been in the first place.
Chang already has a goal or an assist today. Now she's looking for a goal. Repositioning the ball up here towards the center.
These are the chances you really want to capitalize on.
Chang drives in. That one's partially saved by Lavelle. Chang will keep it though for the Penguins. Nice pass from Corin to Garrett. She'll shoot. Saved by Lavelle. Nice job by Meredith Lavelle.
A really nice feed from Corin, but just not able to finish the play there, and it almost looks like she took a shot to the mouth after she had shot that, but
here comes Detroit. Butler once again. Good look. She'll shoot. That one's high. The Titans will keep possession though. They're going to have another chance. Marina Butler leads the team with 2 goals today. Now Detroit Mercy's moving around the perimeter.
And if you're just tuning in, you may not, and if you just looked at the scoreboard and you're watching, this may not feel like a 4-12 game. You know, this second period, I would say late second half of the first period and this entire second period has felt much more evenly matched. It was Youngstown State jumping out to those early 8 goals that really kind of changed the way this game's going to be looked at.
Miscommunication there from Detroit Mercy forces the turnover, so YSU will get it, but they turn it over themselves right back to the Titans. YSU still playing a player up, but not for long. We'll see if they can capitalize. But Detroit Mercy currently with possession. They can really leak out the rest of this time and get their player back on the field.
And it looks like that's kind of what they're doing, just playing a nice steady approach behind the net, keeping it around.
Ball on the ground. Titans will keep it though.
And that's been a common issue here.
We're going to have a timeout called on the field. That was a really good job by Kat Kopcha of keeping the possession in her stick. We're going to have a timeout called. Detroit Mercy, this is a really big possession right here, looking to get it down to a 7-goal deficit right before the break. So quick game reset. YSU has really outshot the Titans so far here today. They've scored 12 goals on 23 shots, with 18 of those being on goal. Detroit Mercy has 4 goals on 10 shots, with 5 being on goal. YSU controlling the ground balls 11-7 so far. In goal, Meredith Lavelle currently with 6 saves for Detroit Mercy. Michaela Starenko only has 1 save for YSU while giving up 4 goals, but she hasn't had too many opportunities to make a save so far here today. But Detroit Mercy is looking to get one past her right here, like we mentioned, coming out of the timeout. They're looking to get it down to 7 goals before the break.
Yeah, and it seems as though Detroit Mercy's really started to get a lot more of a flow going to their offense, getting a lot of action going on inside near the net, which is something they were not able to do really at all, it seemed like, in that first period. And you start to wonder, maybe, is this something that Youngstown State's trying to clear up here in this timeout with these last minute and 55 seconds in the second period? Or is it something you really just want to try? As you mentioned, they aren't really, the save numbers aren't there for the Penguins, but there hasn't really been that many shots on goal, only 5 for the Titans, as you mentioned, compared to the 18 for the Penguins. Penguins are playing a very smart game, not really turning it over, only 5 turnovers to the 9 for Detroit Mercy. This is where it's going to really define if Detroit Mercy can make a run like Youngstown State did to open the game and put on, you know, maybe 6 goals of their own. It's a tall task, to say the least, but still nothing's necessarily out of the picture, especially here in Youngstown.
So both teams now heading back out onto the field. We'll see what Coach Hicks drew up in the timeout for Detroit Mercy. 1:55 to go here in the second quarter. Ball is deep in Youngstown State territory. And we're back underway. Detroit Mercy with it, but losing it is Brant. And that'll go right back to Youngstown State. That is obviously not what the Titans wanted. Coming out of the timeout is a turnover. That's their 10th here of the first half.
Double-digit turnovers in the first half is not a key to success, especially when the other team has been a lot more careful and a lot more protective when it comes to the possession of the ball.
ISU moving it behind the net now. 59 seconds remain on the shot clock, game clock, and shot clock separated by 20 seconds.
And what is there not to love about what this Youngstown State team has been doing this first half, though? Being really smart, getting the ball. Pretty much, it seems almost many of these second period possessions, especially as they just turn one over there.
Nice job by Detroit Mercy defensively of chopping at the stick of Chang and forcing it away. And now the Titans here with numbers. They have an opportunity to add a goal here before the end of the half. With it is Bodnar. She'll pass it off. Looking inside for the cutting Butler. Pass was unsuccessful. And YSU now come the other way with Molly Sheridan.
And Sheridan, a huge factor in an earlier goal, really driving down. She has great momentum, great vision. So that one's just off the leg. Corin would have had her 5th goal of the game, but now it's a little knotted up behind the net a little bit.
That was a really good look from Allie Corin, but an even better save by Meredith Lavelle.
Lavelle has played a much better second period than she did in the first. You know, that first period was not ideal for anybody.
And we have a collision inside, and we're going to have a foul with 3 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And this is going to set Detroit Mercy up with a golden chance as we take another look right here. Eris Lindsay colliding with the back of Kat Kopcha. And now Kopcha, the leading goal scorer on the season for Detroit Mercy, is looking for her first goal of the day.
This could really be what Detroit Mercy needs to go into the second half a little bit more.
Strong shot from Kopcha is wide, and that'll take us to the end of the first half. 12-4, Youngstown State, the Penguins, with an 8-goal advantage as we head into the break. We'll take a quick one of our own. When we come back, we'll have first half analysis here from the Watts. Welcome back here to the Watson and Tressel training site. Youngstown State on top of Detroit Mercy 12-4 here 30 minutes into senior day today. Anthony Romo, Taryn Ferdima back on the call here today. Taryn, the Penguins jumped out to a early quick lead. You can't say they've cruised since then, but they have kept it at around that 8 to 10 goal advantage for the majority of this first half as we take a look at some stats and highlights from our first half.
I was just talking during this halftime break, and I said this is the least feeling 8-goal lead I've ever witnessed in any sport. It feels as though since that super hot start that the Penguins really took off on, Detroit Mercy and Youngstown State have really been a much more evenly balanced opponents in this game. It seems like the goalkeeping has been stellar in the second period, although a couple goals slid through here and there, but the first 6 shots that the Penguins put up in that first period were all ended up in the back of the net, which is not exactly what you want if you're Detroit Mercy, which, again, you eliminate those, you even eliminate half of those, and this game's a lot more in reach. But Youngstown State's really just looking to keep that lead on their side and come out of this and give themselves a berth, an automatic berth, into the MAC postseason tournament.
YSU's controlled the draws 10-8 so far through 30 minutes of play. The Penguins have really outshot Detroit Mercy. 19 shots on goal for YSU that have ended in 12 goals. 5 shots on goal for Detroit Mercy that have ended in 4 goals. YSU has controlled the ground balls 13-9 so far here today. Both teams just about ready to come out here for the second half. We mentioned it's senior day here inside the Watts today. Kind of a bummer that we have to have it indoors today. The weather's been so nice the last few days. Then it figures, of course, today, about 55 degrees and a lot of rain here in Youngstown, so we had to get moved back indoors here to the Watts from Farmers National Bank Field, which is just about 3-minute trek down from the Watts here today. But Youngstown State has been playing with a purpose so far in the first half, led by the senior in Allie Corn, who has 4 goals and assists so far. Jordan Miller has 3 goals for YSU, and then Allie Garrett and Jade Shear each with 2 goals apiece for the Penguins. Taryn, if you're YSU coming into the second half here, what are some things that you think interim head coach and Hallie Katulak kind of told the team during the break to keep them level-headed?
Got to figure out what were you doing in those first 7 minutes of that first period, and you got to go right back to that. I know in the first period compared to the second, it seemed as though Youngstown State really lost that aggressive edge. And in a way, it seemed that Detroit Mercy almost took over with that, and it benefited them in that second period. So if you're Youngstown State, I think it looks like just winning these opening draws are really going to be what separate them from Detroit Mercy, is they can just they have no problem finding the back of the net. It's making sure that they can do it at a quick and aggressive rate, which is going to set them over the edge.
Penguins control the opening draw, and we're underway here in the third quarter. That one is lost for a second by Fike. YSU will retain possession. Clark will pass it over to Allie Corn. We mentioned Corn, 4 first-half goals here today. Trying to get around the defender in Nuskin. But a nice job by Kaya Nuskin of forcing her to get rid of it. Aaron Clark now trying to work on the defender. She'll pass it off. Jordan Miller inside, looking for Shearer. She'll score! Jade Shearer, back-to-back Saturdays with a hat trick here at home. That's her 3rd goal of the day. That'll make it 13-4 YSU.
And just like that, we see another one go early in the back of the net, early into the half. As we mentioned, this is exactly how the first half started for Youngstown State. And this opens up that lead a little bit more, pushing it to 9. But I think that's exactly what they wanted to do. They were aggressive. They did kind of meet in the middle of a conservative and an aggressive pace on that possession there, but ultimately ending the exact way you want it with the ball in the back of the net.
Jade Shearer, a freshman for this team. Through the first 6 games of the season, she had only had 2 goals. 1 against Pitt, 1 against Akron. And then last week against Akron, she had 2 goals on Saturday, 1 against Central Michigan on Wednesday. And then she has 3 here today.
What a day to do it on as well. As we mentioned earlier, this is, if the Penguins win, they're in. A win and get in situation for the Penguins here if they are able to secure a victory today over the Titans. They are secured into the postseason of the MAC tournament.
Detroit Mercy with their first attack here of the second half. That shot is wide of the net. Possession will stay with the Titans. So Detroit Mercy looking to try to complete quite the crazy comeback here in the second half. That shot's wide by Maddie Cam. There's still a lot of time to go in the game. You still have just over 28 minutes of game action left. But you're going to need to start a rally and start one quick here.
What's incredible is Youngstown State was able to put up just about half, if not more than half of their goals in the first 7 or so minutes. They've only scored 6 since then. But again, what they've been able to do offensively definitely doesn't overshadow what they've been able to do defensively, keeping Detroit Mercy away from the back of the net.
Free position chance here for the Titans. That shot is saved.
Right.
It's a good look there from Marina Butler, but right into the stick of number 77, Jackie Cornell, who's now in at goal for the Penguins.
And this is that aggressive nature that we saw earlier. Is good defensive possession there. Able to get it away from a storming Penguin side.
Here come the Titans once again. Leah Bodnar forcing the turnover. Now she's working on the right side. Good pass inside to Butler. Her shot's wide.
That was a very shallow angle looking at the net there. I was a little surprised that she didn't try to pull that one back and get a little bit of a better shot at it, but I guess that's one of those unpredictable shots that you can take from the corner that kind of throw off the defense.
And now if you're Detroit Mercy, you're at a point being down by 9 goals. It's kind of moral victories to start at this point. You want to keep it under 10 because if that lead gets to double digits for YSU, then the running clock will be pushed into effect. But the Penguins are just having trouble moving the ball around here towards midfield. That is another turnover on something that could have been a very easy pass. Then we're going to have a collision inside, and there's going to be a foul called on Alexa Beyer. This will be a free position chance for Kopcha.
You could tell Kopcha there wanted to just, she got possession. She said, I'm taking this one to the hole and nothing stopping me from it. Hitting the deck hard though. Kopcha setting herself up nice.
Kat Kopcha looking for her first goal today. She cannot get it right there. Saved by Cornell. Look inside, and that'll end up into the stick of Jackie Cornell. So another empty possession for Detroit Mercy here to begin the second half. They're getting good looks, just not able to capitalize.
Cornell coming in for Stranko, who had a very productive, but a relatively relaxed first half, if I do say so.
Nice job splitting the double team. Flying inside and scoring is Jade Shearer. Made 2 Titans collide. She didn't skip a beat. And Jade Shearer scores her 4th goal of the day.
Being only a freshman, doesn't that make you just a little excited what the rest of her career could really look like? 4 goals on the day now. And as you mentioned, splits the defense, tripping them up on their own feet, and sinking one deep into the net. It's really promising if you're Youngstown State and you think this freshman putting up these kind of numbers right now against good opponent in Detroit Mercy gives you a little bit of confidence that she's going to be a leader and a very high scorer for years to come.
YSU should be able to bring back a lot, well, pretty much everyone except Allie Korn. But I mean, next year you're bringing back Natalie Calandra-Ryan. Allie Garrett's had a great freshman season. Jade Shear's really starting to step up. There's a lot of young players on this team who are just freshmen who are really stepping into big roles. Jackie Cornell in goal, another freshman. She's also stepped up this season, a redshirt freshman in Cornell, but still has the same eligibility left. We're going to have a foul called here on the Penguins. We'll set up Detroit Mercy with an opportunity to eliminate the running clock.
There's a whole lot of whistles right there on that possession there for Detroit Mercy, but being able to get deep into enemy territory, definitely at the forefront of that list here. They're going to set themselves up, as you mentioned, to eliminate that chance for the running clock.
The shot for Charlotte Dale, deflected off the stick of Cornell, and it'll come into the stick of the Penguins. So YSU gets another stop defensively, and here they come the other way now. Mia Stahl will pass it off. Starting to see the Penguins go kind of deep into the roster. Expect to see a lot of players, different players, get on the field today for YSU. Last weekend, we saw almost everyone that was dressed touch the field for the Penguins.
Saying last season doesn't feel so crazy considering it is a solid 43 degrees outside and raining today when we've had high 80s the last couple of days and sunny.
Yeah. Erin Clark trying to drive in. She can't get past Newsgen though. YSU will keep possession. As
you mentioned, bringing in a couple of fresh faces and has to make your team feel good knowing that you have the depth that you can play some of these guys. Is really nice shot attempt there. Even better stop.
Saved by Meredith Lavelle.
Lavelle's come in and also been very effective in goal, but already given up 2 early goals, which is not ideal, especially when you're just trying to claw back, and it's kind of like putting Band-Aids on a bullet hole. Really not going to do a whole lot. Got to find something else that's going to soften the blow.
Approaching 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. That shot is wide of the net. Detroit Mercy will get another chance though. 14-4 Youngstown State. The Penguins looking for a win today, but Detroit Mercy's trying to not let that happen. Charlotte Dale finding the back of the net. That's her second goal of the day. Coming off a 3-point performance against Central Michigan. Their last time out for Detroit Mercy last Saturday. She had a goal and 2 assists. She adds her second goal of the day right there.
She gets right over the right shoulder there. Very well placed shot. It almost seems like the demeanor of this Detroit Mercy team, you can kind of tell, seeming a little sluggish out on the field. Not really walking or moving with a whole lot of purpose, but we may just see, we're seeing the bench over here really trying to get their team rallied. See if they can make a little bit of a 9-point swing here in the second half of this game.
Vergara and Yesko on the draw at midfield. Ball still on the ground. Who will come up with it? Possession will go to Youngstown State. Here come the Penguins. Tristan Chang flying down the right side. She'll shoot. Saved by Lavelle. Nice job by Meredith Lavelle, and now you see Detroit Mercy's trying to move quick. With it is Schillinger. She hits the turf. He's able to get back up. We're going to have a penalty called on the Penguins, and a yellow card will be given to Erin Clark. Talked a little bit about how this is kind of a win-and-get-in situation for YSU. Central Michigan currently sitting atop the MAC with a record of 5-0 in conference play. Robert Morris currently sitting at second with a record of 5-1 in conference play. What a turnaround it's been for the Colonials since the season started. In the non-conference slate, Robert Morris was just 2-7. And another goal right there from Detroit Mercy. That'll make it an 8-goal difference. And the goal was scored by Abby Schillinger.
You could see right here, took a very just confident shot.
Look, her teammate has to come and kind of force the stick out of her hand.
Yeah.
You don't want the referee to think that something's going on with the stick, but everything's good. We did see a goal taken away from Allie Corrin last Saturday due to a stick violation. Might have been 2 weeks ago, actually, I believe. I forget. It's either Eastern Michigan or Akron. I forget which game it was. But everything was fine with the stick. That'll make it 14-6.
I think that goal plays a lot bigger of an effect on the morale of the team rather than just the scoreboard. You could see there, the rest of the team celebrated with her on that goal, giving them just a little bit of a hope, a little bit of a feeling that, okay, we're starting to make a little bit of a push. That's 2 goals now in less than 2 minutes for this Titans team, and now we're going to see if they can keep possession and keep something going here for the rest of this half.
Double team there from YSU. Abby Yesko trying to force it out of the stick of Sarah Meek. But we're going to have a foul called on a check of the stick by Yesko, so Meek will keep it for Detroit Mercy. Sarah Meek, who coming in today led Detroit Mercy on the season with 21 draw controls. She only has 1 so far today. 6:55 to go here in the third quarter. 14-6, Youngstown State. Detroit Mercy looking to continue to claw into this deficit here on the road today.
Ideally, if you can get this to within 4, which is a tall task already, just saying that out loud, but you can get this to 4, it gives you just a little bit extra feeling that, man, this team can actually really claw back into this Penguins team who really haven't made as much noise since about the first period of the game.
Butler passes it off. There's a good look inside. We're going to have a collision that will set up another free position chance here for Detroit Mercy. And Sarah Meek. Meek, who has 6 goals on the season, she's looking for number 7 possibly right here. But instead she'll pass it off. Detroit Mercy's going to look for a better chance. Nice find inside. They were looking for Jarvis. Couldn't field it cleanly, and that'll be a turnover. That's a tough break there for Detroit Mercy.
That is tough. You could not place it any better than that right there, but just not able to fully get control of it. And now here's the Youngstown we saw plenty of in that first period and the first half in general, playing aggressive and going coast to coast.
Eris Lindsay, team captain, she'll pass it off to Abby Yesko. Under 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Ball now in the stick of Allie Korn. She's tied for the team lead with 4 goals today. Here on her senior day, Korn wrapping around the side. And another save by Meredith Lavelle. That is her 10th save here today. She had a season-high 17 saves against Butler back on February 26th. She can keep playing the way she is today. She has a chance of possibly tying that. The ball bounces around to the stick of Marina Butler. She finds Jarvis. Here comes Alyssa Jarvis. That shot's deflected away by Cornell.
It seemed there that they really had everything they wanted. A good shot attempt at the low left corner, but another shot just high. Looks like that's going to be Penguin possession.
Detroit Mercy continues to get good looks, but YSU is just finding a way defensively to force tough shots. And partially on the other hand, the Detroit Mercy just hasn't been able to capitalize on some opportunities. Aaron Clark weaving through about 4 Titans defenders. Now here comes Aaron Clark. Looking for an open Penguin. Allie Korn trying to get positioning in front of the goalie. But instead, the Penguins will move it around the perimeter.
Expect Korn to really facilitate here and put it right in the heart of the stick.
We're just going to push that ball back. I want someone to step on that, so just a quick referee's timeout.
It's a great way to twist an ankle.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling.
Korn over to Miller. Jordan Miller with the height advantage on the defender. She'll pass it off to Clark. And Clark will hit the turf.
Clark looked like she got hit in the back of the head there a little bit. Saw her neck almost shoot forward. Looks like she's okay. And take another look here. Oh yeah, just below that neckline.
Aaron Clark looking for her first goal today. She already has 2 assists. Clark drives in, she'll shoot, and she'll score. First goal of the day for the junior team captain and Aaron Clark, and that'll make it 15-6, Youngstown State.
That's a really good way to really halt any momentum just off that free positioning and right there in the low side of the net. Great goal and a great way to keep your team on its high horse. 15 goals through 2 1/3 periods. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good scoring average, if I do say so myself.
YSU's season high in goals was a 21-goal performance back on March 14th against Gardner-Webb, the last time YSU played here in the Watts. It's a 21-18 win on March 14th against Gardner-Webb, as we'd mentioned. Penguins control the draw once again. Erin Clark with it. She'll pass it off.
I will say it's very impressive how well these Penguins have been able to score under a smothering defense that Detroit Mercy has really given them. It's not been an easy task, but Youngstown's been able to really find the openings and get to their spot as quick and as easy as you can, as Corin, again, looked like she wanted to take that one herself a little bit.
Allie Korn did keep possession. She'll pass it off now to Tristan Chang. Approaching 50 seconds now remaining on the shot clock. YSU looking for another goal to get the running clock back in effect. Clark loses her footing once again. And have a foul called on the Titans. This will set Erin Clark up with a position to give YSU another goal. Won't be a free position, but she'll pass it off.
Looks like she took just a little bit of a body check there, and
Miller with the hard shot. Saved by Lavelle. Miller lost her stick.
She put a lot of power into that one. She lost possession of her stick. I thought her stick was going to go in the goal before the ball did. But now this is where
yellow card's given to her because lost the stick on the shot there. So Jordan Miller will have to sit for 2 minutes.
Having Miller out, though, if you're Detroit Mercy, is definitely something that you are going to want to take advantage of. As we mentioned, she does have the height and the strength advantage over a lot of the ladies on the field right now, and she's proven that today. Really getting a lot of easy looks just from her height. So now, if you're Detroit Mercy, you want to attack this, and you have a little bit more of a size balance, I guess you could say, in this second half.
Jess Turner will pass it off. And the Titans now looking to trim the deficit to 8. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. With it is Schillinger. Abby Schillinger passing it off inside, wrapping around and shooting, but saving it is Jackie Cornell.
Right in the heart. Cornell, one of the most routine saves you will ever see. But here we see the speed of this Penguins team.
Eris Lindsay over to Jade Shears. She'll shoot. Saved by Lavelle. Why she'll keep possession, though. They'll slow it down just a tad. Shot clock turned off. Actually, excuse me, game clock and shot clock separated by about 12 seconds. Allie Garrett will pass it off over to Erin Clark.
Penguins look like they are not looking to score with any urgency, run down this shot clock, which is not something we've seen from them pretty much at all today. They have been a very quick-to-pounce sort of team, and not something that we are used to seeing with this Penguins team, but I think they just are trying to do everything they can in order to get Jordan Miller back in the game.
Allie Korn makes 2 defenders lose their footing, but she can't capitalize.
That was a golden opportunity. Opened up the chocolate bar, found the golden ticket, but was not able to go to the chocolate factory.
Never heard that analogy before.
Well, you have.
That was a good one. And a goal by Erin Clark. Right before the end of the third quarter. And now with the running clock back in effect, that'll eventually take us to the end of the third quarter. Nice find inside to Clark. She scores her second goal of the quarter. And that'll make it 16-6 YSU. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. 15 minutes to go. YSU looking to lock up a spot in the Mid-American Conference postseason tournament when we return. Welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter here at the Watson and Trestle training site. Youngstown State on top of Detroit Mercy 16-6. Anthony Romo, Taryn Ferdima back on the call. Aaron Clark, 2 late goals in the third quarter for Youngstown State to push the lead back up to 10. Taryn, if you're Detroit Mercy here, you got to think, you got to take it 1 goal at a time. The first biggest opportunity here is to get rid of the running clock and try to extend this game a little bit.
If there's any opening that you see in goal, I think you need to take it at this point. They've gotten around the goal plenty, and they have had a lot of opportunities to score. Obviously, it's easier said than done right here, but I think any shot that you have to score here, and you got to take possession, which they are not doing right here, as the ball has been on the ground for a solid 7 seconds or so now.
And YSU will end up with it. Tristan Chang will have it for the Penguins as they head down the other side of the field. Pass over to Aaron Clark. She has the hot hand. She'll shoot, and she'll add another goal. Aaron Clark with a hat trick now today. She is up to 31 goals on the season. And she's someone that went pointless against Central Michigan the last time out, which is very rare for her. That was the first time this season she did not have a single point, which is a goal or an assist for Youngstown State. But she's redeeming herself today.
Fantastic goal scoring there for Detroit Mercy. Now that running clock effect is now going, and
it's going now.
Now you wonder, time is not only running out, but it's running out faster than it was before. This is not where you want to be.
That's the thing, because you score after the goals, you think the clock's still running for 30, 35 seconds after the celebration, after the stick check, and as the teams get back to midfield. So YSU is in deep control right now.
And as you mentioned earlier, in that third period, that they had their season high this season is 21 goals. Right now, 17 just at the start of the fourth period. You wonder, are they going to reach that or maybe even exceed that? And the way they've been scoring today, I don't doubt that it's out of the question. It's out of the picture.
Tristan Chang gets some separation from 2 Titan defenders, and now YSU will pass it around the outside. Approaching 13 minutes to go now here in the fourth quarter. Korn driving inside. She'll shoot. That one's high. Allie Korn a little bit slow to get up. Possession will stay with Youngstown State. Under 13 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
As you mentioned, next Saturday for the Penguins, they're going to be taking on Kent. Another very big conference matchup,
and another goal for the Penguins. Jordan Miller now with 4 goals today. That's her second highest total of the season. That'll make it 18-6 YSU.
Jordan Miller, she has played just so unbelievably well. And again, you have to chalk it up partially to just her size, athletic ability for her size, and you can tell she's putting in that work. She seems tired.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you're Youngstown State right now, I think you can start slowing it down a little bit, as you already do have a 12-goal lead, and that's one thing we've seen from every period. Youngstown has really been able to get off to a hot start, get a goal or 2 on the board within the first couple of minutes, and what's crazy to think is we're almost 4 minutes in with that running clock rule, and we're already 4 minutes in when we'd probably only be a minute and a half in a normal period.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one next Saturday. I think that'll really tell a lot about this YSU team when they take on Kent State, because Kent State is having a whale of a season. 4-1 in conference play, just lost their first game not too long ago. They started off excellent during the conference slate. So that's going to be a big game next Saturday, and if you're YSU, you get that one off day, and luckily for the Penguins, it comes in the final week of the regular season. They do not play on Wednesday. Like you said, they're just back at it a week from today.
And as you mentioned, last year, had a 3-way share of the regular season title, losing in the semifinals. But this year, the way they're playing today has to give them a little bit of confidence that they can go toe-to-toe with any team in the conference and make a push in the postseason for a tournament championship.
Around the league, Akron getting their first conference win of the season, taking on Eastern Michigan, and 2 teams that were both winless in conference play. Akron winning that game 10-9. YSU looking at another goal right here. With it is Yesko. She'll pass it off to Chang. Now back out. YSU scored 6 early goals in the first 7 minutes of today's game. They have not looked back. Jordan Miller now will pass it off.
This is exactly what we expected around this time from the Penguins. Just a little bit more of a smooth game, a little bit less aggressiveness. You don't need to waste any unneeded energy. A fantastic move there. Just not able to finish for Allie Corin.
What a big game going on. We were talking about Kent at Dick Stadium at Kent. Nice find inside to Clark. Her shot can't go in. And that'll be a shot clock violation on the Penguins. What a big game going on at Dick Stadium, though. Kent State taking on Central Michigan. Two of the top teams in the conference. Central Michigan 5-0 in the league coming in today. Kent State 4-1. And the Golden Flash is currently on top 13-11 in the fourth quarter in that ball game. So that could be a big one. Really big one coming up next weekend, because if Kent State holds on for that win today, they could have an opportunity to win a share of the conference if they take down YSU next Saturday. Still 13 minutes to go in that game. Working behind the net is Gilbert. She's looking for an open attacker. Still looking for someone to get open. Annie Gilbert waiting patiently. Had the open Cutter and Butler, but she couldn't haul it in cleanly. But Detroit Mercy still with possession.
It's incredible how aggressive Youngstown State continues to be, even up 12 with less than 9 minutes to play. And that's the payoff. Youngstown State gains possession. Now they are off to the races.
Alexa Byer working very close to the sideline. She'll pass it back to Skylar Weber. Now she'll give it over to Jacqueline Cornell. It'll be interesting definitely next season to see kind of who earns the starting spot between Cornell and Steranko. They've both seen a lot of playing time during the second half of the season. Allie Garrett with a good look. She's driving in. That one's forced out of her stick because of a foul. We'll have a free position chance here now for Allie Garrett.
What's nice about having those two goalkeepers that really do play very valuable minutes and do not give up a lot of easy shots. You can be a little bit more flexible. If you want to play Steranko for the first half and Cornell for the second, as we see today.
Garrett with her third goal today. She's up to a hat trick.
Put another one on the board.
YSU now has 3 players with 4 goals and 2 players with 3 goals. 19 goals altogether now for the Penguins as we approach 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Quite the scoring barrage for the Penguins in this fourth period. You know, a little bit of a flashback to that first period, but this one doesn't seem to be coming as hot and steady, but more like a warm and controlled scoring attack.
7:40 now to go here in the fourth quarter. We talk about the running clock being in effect. So you score the goal if you're YSU and you take about another 30 seconds off the clock. 13 goal advantage for the Penguins. YSU's been led today. Allie Corin, Jade Shear, and Jordan Miller all with 4 goals. Aaron Clark and Allie Garrett each have 3. And Taylor Bumstead has 1 goal to round it out for the Penguins. Clark, Miller, and Corin currently tied for the team lead with 5 points. Aaron Clark has 3 goals and 2 assists. Jordan Miller 4 goals and 1 assist. And Allie Corin also 4 goals and 1 assist today for Youngstown State. Hopefully, this is the last time we have to be in the Watts this season for a broadcast. We have the Outdoor Track and Field Championships coming up here in Youngstown 2 weeks from today. It'll be the second day of the event. Last time we hosted, we had to get moved indoors on the last day after being outside the first 2 days, and the weather doesn't look too promising for the next 2 weeks here in Youngstown, so knock on table, that doesn't have to happen again.
Well, at least we are fortunate enough here at Youngstown State to have plenty of very nice facilities that we can work with, but now, as you mentioned, it would have been nice to be outside today.
And that shot from Corn is too high. we're under 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. YSU still with possession.
Just 2 goals shy away from tying their season high for the season of 21. The collision down, just inside the circle. Looks like
we're going to have a yellow card given to Detroit Mercy. This will set up a free position chance for YSU. It's a collision there between Shear and Nugent. Actually, Vigara, excuse me.
any momentum that Detroit Mercy really had in that third period has been absolutely washed away by this Penguins team, and start to wonder, is Detroit Mercy just kind of already thrown in the towel? As we've seen a couple new faces for the Penguins come on here in the last couple of minutes and giving everybody a little bit of extra playing time that they wouldn't normally get.
Pass over now to Jordan Miller. Good look for Miller. That one bounces over the net. Possession will stay with Youngstown State. Another chance here for the Penguins. 63 seconds remain on the shot clock. Aaron Clark will pass it over to Taylor Bumstead. And now this is going to be a great chance for Bumstead. She's going to have a free position shot.
Bumstead, as you mentioned, already with one goal early in the first period. See if she can capitalize on this with her second.
She'll shoot and she'll score. Goal number 20 on the day for Youngstown State goes to Taylor Bumstead. Her second of the day. This is now the second time this season that YSU has eclipsed the 20-goal mark.
What a great all-around performance from this team today. Really sharing the ball, making sure that they are getting themselves in the right position to. This has just been a dominating performance from start to finish. Youngstown State never really held less than a 6-goal lead at any point in this game, which is pretty stellar to think about.
Bumstead now up to 8 goals on the season. She's a redshirt freshman out of Ontario, Canada. And the lead is now up to 14 goals for YSU. Penguins have outscored Detroit Mercy 4-0 here in the fourth quarter and 8-2 overall here in the second half.
Anthony, I have to ask you, if you're Youngstown State here, you have 4 minutes and 15 seconds and you're 1 goal away from tying your season high. How aggressive are you playing this?
I think they're just going to play the same way they've played the whole game.
It's obviously been working for them.
It has. Detroit Mercy, though, with possession here. The Titans looking for goal number 7. They've been led by Charlotte Dale and Marina Butler with 2 goals each. Then Annie Gilbert and Abby Schillinger have the other goals for Detroit Mercy today.
Cornell has been fantastic in goal in the second half.
Yep, Jackie Cornell 4 saves, all just giving up 2 goals here in the second half for YSU. And there's a goal right there for Detroit Mercy. Taryn with the announcer's jinx.
That's okay. I've done it for now 2 different sports, so.
That was a really good ball movement there by Detroit Mercy, and it ends with a goal for Isa Pikowski. Nice opportunity there for Pikowski. That's just her second goal of the season. First time she has scored since February 19th against Xavier. So Pikowski, the freshman out of Woodridge, Illinois, and that's her second goal. That'll make it 20-7. Under 3 minutes to go now in the fourth quarter. So we'll head back out to midfield now for the draw. We'll see who can control it. Bumstead for YSU and Gilbert for Detroit Mercy on the draw. It'll be controlled by the Penguins. We may only see 2-3 more possessions here today for both sides. Lindsay passes it off to Taylor Bumstead. And now we'll see if the Penguins can tie their season high and find the net for the 21st time today. Horn will pass it off behind the net. A lot of the starters still out on the field for Youngstown State,
I will say I'm a little surprised to see this many starters still out on the field this position of the game.
It's a nice find inside from Bumstead to Aaron Lowry. YSU will keep possession. Lowry now has it. Aaron Lowry, who's making her 3rd appearance on the season today. Trying to drive on the right side. She'll give it up. Find inside. Looking for Danny Emler. That'll be a turnover. So Detroit Mercy holds YSU empty on that possession. So I guess I take that back. We are seeing a lot of subs now for YSU. It's just hard to see with them being on the other side of the field.
Seemingly a whole brand new group out there. A lot of fresh legs for these last minute and 10 seconds.
Here's a chance here for Annie Gilbert and Detroit Mercy. Gilbert looking for her 2nd goal of the day right here. Approaching 1 minute to go in the 4th quarter. Gilbert will pass it off. And a good look, but a save by Jackie Cornell.
Seems very fitting of Jackie Cornell to be saving that one this late in the game. She's just been dominant inside the net.
Emily Wilson now with it for the Penguins. She'll pass it upfield to Allie Corn.
About 30 seconds left, and you can tell that this Youngstown State reserve team has really wanted to make their mark on this game, as they've definitely...
And another goal right there for Detroit Mercy. Charlotte Dale now with the hat trick today. That's her 3rd goal. And that is a fitting way for Detroit Mercy to end today's game. We'll take another look right here. Nice pass inside from Annie Gilbert to Charlotte Dale. And that is how today's game will end. 20-8 is our final score. YSU now pretty much locks up a spot in the Mid-American Conference Tournament for the 2nd consecutive year. It was a big senior day effort by Allie Corn, who had 4 goals, and she was joined by Jade Shear and Jordan Miller in the 4-goal department. Allie Garrett and Aaron Clark with 3 goals for YSU. Taylor Bumstead had 2. Detroit Mercy was led by Charlotte Dale with 3 goals today. And then Marina Butler was also in the multi-goal department with 2 goals today. Taryn, first lacrosse broadcast. Any final thoughts here today?
What a fun game, huh?
Oh,
I mean,
you're telling me.
Action-packed from the get-go. 6 goals in the first 5-ish minutes for the Penguins, and seemed to really just take off for the Penguins from there. Detroit Mercy seemed like for roughly half the game, from beginning of that 2nd period to the 3rd, through the 3rd, it seemed like there was a chance there that they could mount a little bit of a comeback, but the Penguins came out and showed why they were the more dominant team.
So both teams will face off with the Kent State Golden Flashes the next time out. Detroit Mercy will take on Kent State on Wednesday. YSU will take on Kent State on Saturday. So for Taryn Fredema, I'm Anthony Romo saying so long here from the Watts. YSU, your winners today, 20-8. We'll see you next season here for YSU Lacrosse.